Bitcoin has finally broken $100,000 per BTC. Where exactly could it go from here? I have some very interesting technicals to share with you concerning Bitcoin, and I think that you're going to like what you see playing out from the most recent technical pattern that has already been confirmed and is well on its way to a much higher price than we're at right now. So I think you're going to be pleased with that. We're also going to talk about Nvidia's climb, and we'll cover some of the indices, the S&P 500, Nasdaq 100, and the Russell 2000 stocks. And I also would like to give you an update on a penny stock and tease another penny stock for you. By the way, you can see all my technicals before they hit YouTube over at the Discord available through the Patreon. You can check that out, talk to me and my community members, and see my buys and sells. That link is down in the description. Also, later I'll tell you about Stockmo Academy and how you can sign up for the course, learn how to do the technicals yourself, and also get access to the bread recipe trading strategy using the code word doctor. Give you a big, massive discount on that. In the meantime, let's get right into the technicals on this. So Bitcoin, let's take a look at this just gargantuan mess right now. So let's move in on this. I talked about the consolidation pattern yesterday. I posted into the Discord that we started breaking out above the consolidation pattern here, which would show further bullishness. And then look what happened. As soon as we hit the next day, we finally popped that 100,000 mark, and we have yet to return back to that high price that's on here, 103,620, as per what we have from Bitstamp tracking BTC to USD. So for this one, excellent move so far. Now, mind you, this is a very myopic view. This morning, I took the chance to, myopic means nearsighted, like I didn't look far enough left. So looking left on the charts can be a whole lot more informative than looking like too near term, which could give you a near term insight on what's going to take place. But when you zoom out and you look left, that can give you a much bigger view of what's going on. And guys, I'm telling you, like, it's pretty cool. So check this out. I went to the weekly chart, cleaned up these technicals, and look at this. Check out that cup and handle pattern that we have going all the way back to the peak in November of 2021, that massive sell that we've had through the FTX disaster and all that kind of stuff, and then the massive climb that we've gotten back up, that formed the cup, and then we sort of trailed off to the side for a little bit, kind of subdued prices, and then if we look in here towards the handle on this one, we actually had that breakout moment, and since we have a slightly uneven left side to right side of this cup, I went to the lower side of this and then matched up what we have from the bottom of the cup up to the lip of the cup right there, the rim just on that side. That puts us up over, check this out, $120,000 per BTC. So I think that is very important to pay attention to, because we're probably on the climb to get there. I want to keep in mind for you that this is the weekly chart that we're looking at. So what we could be seeing could take time from anywhere from a couple days to a couple weeks to play out. And with it being crypto, making that 15 to 17% climb from where we're at right now as I record this video, that can happen in very, very short amount of time. So we had 17% just on Monday the 4th, and then we had another 11% climb, 9% climb. So it wouldn't be unheard of to see it happen today, tomorrow, but I do think that it's going to take a little bit of time given where we're at. But you know, I think that price is going to happen. I think it can happen before the end of the year. I thought we'd see 100,000, and we did. And now I'm starting to think that before the end of the year, we could even see this 120,000, maybe even happens before the end of the week that we see that take place. Now, mind you, being the weekly chart, seeing this cup and handle pattern, man, it's just played out beautifully so far. So we'll see if we keep on going on that, if this technical continues, if we don't really get any big macro news, maybe economic reports tomorrow, unemployment rate, non-farm payrolls, as long as they don't mess us up too bad, we should be on that trajectory. We should be on that path to climb up there. I do have a play on this, on Bitcoin. I don't hold any Bitcoin directly right now, but I do have a play through one of the ETFs, BITO, I believe is what it is, a call option on this one that should pay pretty handsomely at this point in time. And so I'm pretty excited about that. And I have some other stuff out there, including some of those penny stocks I talked about earlier. Before we get to those, let's talk about the indices. And like I said, the technicals that you see on here, they are already available over at the Discord, available through the Patreon. You can click that and sign up, get access to everything that I have over there through that sign up and through that Discord. And guys, the technical analysis, you don't have to wait for me. You can learn to do this yourself through Stockmo Academy, and he is adding stuff all the time to that. As a matter of fact, just dropped an options course over there as well, but it includes the bread recipe framework for that options course. The technical analysis trading course has the bread recipe trading strategy in it that indicates to you, can help you set up your technicals in order to see when massive movements are going to occur to the upside, to the downside, and you can play either one through going long, going short, or even through the use of options, which I favor options myself. I absolutely love trading options. So that course, you can get access to all of it using the code word doctor, DOCTOR, such as I'm Dr. Stock, code word doctor, give you a massive discount. The testimonials coming out, people are loving the strategy. I use it myself, and I even used it to identify some of these penny stock movements that you'll see in this video as well. So if you're somebody who loves the risk and loves the penny stocks and loves options, that course can be absolutely incredible for you. Use the code word doctor when you sign up, and you're going to love it. So let's get back into the technicals here. SPY. So check this out. There we go. Where are we hitting at right now? Well, I left the technicals on here from the rising wedge pattern, and look at what we're getting from this just on the daily chart basis and where we closed out right at this trend line that we have from the rising wedge pattern. Still got resistance at that, and I think really getting up above this red area of resistance around 609 to 610. I don't think that's going to happen prior to tomorrow's numbers. We'll have to see. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't, but non-farm payrolls and the unemployment rate are going to be absolutely critical. And if they come in solid for us, that what we're seeing is a stabilization of the labor market or a strengthening of the labor market, that can be a very big thing for the S&P 500, for the Nasdaq 100. Now, mind you, if it causes the Fed to hold rates higher for longer, that's a different thing as well. We got to be prepared for that. We have to pay attention to that. So if that's the case, that can affect something like the Russell 2000 stocks in sort of a negative manner, if you will, because they are just chomping at the bit, I should say, for those lower interest rates to come along with less and less sign of recession all the time. So we want to see continued economic strength and lower federal funds rate all along the way to get that Goldilocks scenario confirmed. Now, mind you, remember that cup and handle pattern that I showed you from BTC? I'm going to show you an IWM. Something that we might see there. I know some people have called it a dream, but why not look for the eventuality just in case we do get a sell-off? We'll talk about that in a moment. The Nasdaq 100 tracked by QQQ. Look at this. We got up on top of 520, which is important. I said full candle close above that is bullish. That gives us room up to 548.65. Now, mind you, if we don't make it up to that next technical, we could probably tumble down and retest support. We're going to have to see, but this is a massive free rise area that we have. With a few, if I did some further Fibonacci extensions, you could see more in there that would actually fill in, but they'd be more near term. That wouldn't involve all the leftward movement that we had. This could be a very good thing, and we're going to have that economic strength continue to play out. And what we're also going to have to see is corporate earnings continue to be strong. We're going to have to look forward for further growth from here. It's going to have to answer a lot of questions in order to keep things pumping for the Nasdaq 100. But man, oh man, like we are in significantly good territory right now. If we don't make it up to the 548.65 over the next few days or weeks, that's something that we have to watch to see where that floor comes in for us and keep watching for higher lows to come in and preferably higher highs as well to keep that bullish momentum going for us. And we did just hit just barely below overbought yesterday on the daily basis, but weekly, monthly, we're also looking good there as well. IWM. Let's go out to the weekly chart and we'll take away some of these lines so that we can see this potential cup pattern that you see here. Now, mind you, I talked about that a little bit when we talked about BTC, that you saw that, but the difference is there's no handle here yet. This is not a confirmed pattern that we're looking at. So cup and handle is the pattern title. It's not just cup. It also needs the handle on this. So if I go from here and I snag the drawing tool, let's grab the arc tool that's right here, and we'll click, and that brings back the lines. And I also have to turn off the magnet on this thing. There we go. That's what that would look like. That is a significant drawdown that you could see, 161 up to 244. That would put us up into the mid to high 370 range from where we're at right now. So that would be like a 50% upside if we get that handle coming off of this. Now, mind you, the handle would be a trailing down in price. And if you get that trail down in price, then you wouldn't hit the 350 to 370. You might be in the low to mid 300 levels. Anyway, if that happens, but like I said, right now, it's just something that I'm monitoring, something that maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. In the meantime, we have to compete with this previous high that we had that I said likely we get a rejection off of it. So far, we did get that rejection off of that all-time high. We did set a new all-time high. That's a good thing. Now we're looking for that support. So far, the Russell 2000 stocks, IWM being the ETF that tracks it, we're still looking to see what that next major footing is. Tomorrow is going to be a huge day, absolutely massive day for IWM. Nvidia, I said if we bounce off the 50 days, the EMA, SMA, you name it, this is something that we want to watch for. And what we did was, well, we got it. So let me take down some of the lines. And so right there, we got back up above the 50 SMA, back up on top of the 50 EMA, had the cross between the 5 and the 13, and then also up above the 20-day moving average. I said, if we get up above the 20-day, that could be a very bullish thing. That opens up the doorway to 150, trying to get back up there, which we haven't hit since the day after earnings. Is the only day that we've had prices up above 150 for Nvidia on a split adjusted basis. I think it's absolutely worth looking at. So yesterday I talked about Beam, said I would have the technicals out on the Discord available through Patreon, link down in the description. I said I would put this out, and so there was a lot that I was seeing that was of interest. We had an all-time low yesterday, got a very narrow-bodied candle with long wicks. This shows indecision. Next candle is the thing that shows us the direction that we could potentially go after that. We do have to get back up above 350 to give us room to 390, which is over a 10% climb from 350 to 390. This is from about a 6 to 33% climb to get up to 439. Now, mind you, the overall trend is bearish and it's a penny stock, significantly high risk. This would be catching a falling knife, but I do think there's a bounce to be had here where we'll come off that oversold and we'll come back and at least retest 390. If we can get through 350, we're going to have to see it happen, but that 20-day and the 50 days, they're going to be trouble for us. So for Beam, there's a lot that's bearish that's going on right now. So this would be one of those really quick timing sort of plays, not following the bread recipe, but it is one that you think that very much worth paying attention to. Now, another one that I have for you is PacBio, PACB. I did put out the technical so I can share it with you guys. Here we go. So yesterday, we had a bit of a volume pump, put us up above the 5, the 13, the 50 days, up above the 20-day. We have to get over 216. That's been massive resistance for us going all the way back to May of this year. We peekabooed up above it a couple times, but we haven't really closed above it since going back into October. We got to get up above this orange 200-day that's coming down your screen here. And if we do, we have room up to 279. It is possible that we get that rejection. Yesterday's move on volume is a good thing, but without getting up above 216, without getting up above 220, which is where the current 200-day is, that's going to be a tough play to see that happen. But it is still early on this. We don't have confirmation that we're going to get there, but this could lead to a golden cross. I think that this is a very, very good thing to keep on your watch list, and I think it could really work out for you. If you want to see an example of this working out, BBAI is something I used the bread recipe on, and this worked out very handsomely. I bought in at 177 with my original purchase, and I've sold some calls since that point in time, but 177 takes us all the way back into this territory. I think around November 18th or 19th is when I purchased, and look at the rocket ship that we've been on since that time. So if you're wanting to play some call options on this, 177 was about there, and this thing has moved up 65% since actually over that. We peaked out at 70%, and then in the pre-market hours this morning, closer to 50% up from that time. And I have these technicals, like I said, shared over at the Discord already. As a matter of fact, I shared them before we ever had that move happen. So BBAI, nice move. Beam, we'll see what happens. PacBio, I think could be pretty incredible if we can get up above the 200-day. And so I think it's a good time for those penny stocks right now. And we'll see if there's some other ones out there. I'll keep poking around and looking around, and we could get some massive climbs and some massive gains off of those, and maybe even play them on the way back down as they tend, especially with the bearish sentiment. We could get a massive pop, and then it sells back off pretty quickly after that one. A little bit opposite of what we would see when we have bullish stocks that tumble quickly and then have that rise right back up. So we're going to have to look and see what happens. I'm using the bread recipe for a lot of these trades that are out there. You guys can learn how to set it up using the link for Stockmo Academy. Use the code word doctor when you sign up. And don't forget about that link for the Patreon. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, that learning is earning. We'll see you next video.